Hello, everybody. Welcome back to NDIS. I'm your host, David Trinka, alongside Ian Iverson. We are without Lincoln today, unfortunately, as he's decided to do stuff for St. Patty's Day, I assume, which is a little sad. He won't be joining us today. He's got more important things to do. Yeah, we didn't do an episode last week. I can't remember why. I was still kind of sick, and I think it was just our schedules weren't really lining up for Tuesday. So, we, oh, wait. It was because Lincoln went home to Fargo because UND went on spring break. So Lincoln, for you, those of you who don't know, does the video editing for the pod. And he just wasn't here for me to hand off the flash drive for him to edit the video. So that's why we just didn't do one. Now my voice is starting to go to crap. I don't know if it's changed over the last couple minutes, but it's kind of sounds like garbage. But anyway, so we'll go over the last two weekends, UND versus Omaha and then UND versus Duluth. Let's start with Omaha. Let's keep it light. UND swept Omaha for the second time at home, but the third time this season at home in the first round of the NCHC playoffs and the quarterfinals. Pretty de facto wins, honestly, and didn't really uh Omaha never really posed much of a threat, either of the nights. UND piled it on in the second period of the Friday, and might be one of the first times that they didn't score in the third period because Omaha scored in the third period and UND didn't. I guess they didn't against Minnesota either, but UND went down again in the second game. They were down 1-0 and then came back and won 5-1. So two big wins for UND 2 weekends ago. UND outshot Omaha 28-15 on Saturday and 20 or that's I clicked the wrong one. Sorry, hold on. They outshot them 28-20 on Friday. So UND did a good job 2 weeks ago. And then UND hosted Duluth in in Grand Forks for the semifinal. Usually UND would be playing the semifinal in St. Paul at the Xcel Energy Center, which is now the Grand Casino Arena. This is the first year the NCHC has moved the semis and championship rounds to home sites. UND being the one seed was able to host Duluth this weekend, which didn't really go to plan. Uh, Ian, you didn't watch it, you said, but I think you looked at the replay. Duluth came out pretty strong. UND was on their heels for most of the first period. Duluth just came out quick. I think UND or UMD, sorry. Duluth just boxed the guys out well, set up a good perimeter around the slot and around the net. Just shielded Guyan from in tight shots, sealed off the slot from guys getting opportunities close to Guyan, and Guyan pretty much did the rest. I mean, he made some spectacular saves, shut down the boys. When you only get to shoot the puck from far out and you don't get a lot of high danger chances and high danger shots, it's hard to score. So Guyan able to shut him down. Uh, Shot UND outshot Duluth, despite losing 5-1. They outshot them 34-22. So yeah, I mean Duluth, Calamarna going into the game. Ian, you had a little take when they broke up the plant line. What did you say?
I thought they would do terrible. I was like, it obviously worked well for them. I saw them in person in Duluth a few weeks
Right,
back. It, you can tell when that line's on the ice.
right,
And to me, I was like, that's their only real shot is getting those guys their chances when they come across them. But clearly, I was mistaken.
right. Yeah, I mean, I didn't really know how it was gonna go. I didn't really have an opinion on it. I didn't think it was going to go that well either in your defense, Ian. Calamar scored the first goal for Duluth from Joey Pierce. Max Plant, obviously the stud. I think he won Offensive Forward of the Year in the NCHC. Had a nice toe drag, really patient goal and snipe on a odd man rush. Jason Chagabe from Calamarnut and Luke Bibby make it 3-0. Dylan James came out in the third period and scored from pretty far out. The screen shot in front. The one, what they had to do was screen the goalie and get bodies in front and get opportunities, and they did that and they scored. It was the one goal that they did get. That was Dylan James with Koresh and EJ Emery. Moorhead native Harper Bentz scored the fourth goal for Duluth. Adam Kleber and Zam Plant assisting on that goal. And then Kyle Gaffney from Luke Bibby and Riley uh, Benarchuk. Gaffney had a disgusting goal, just shimmering around on the goal line and then put it up and under the bar, uh, over the shoulder of Guyon, or not Guyon, Spunar. Just spectacular shot. Kind of really rubbing salt in the wound there with that one. Uh, Building got pretty quiet and, fans started to leave. You got to ask yourself, is uh I kind of was joking around after the game. I was like, well, we know that the X wasn't the problem, I guess, in the semifinal as UND got stomped on. So you got to wonder, what kind of happened. UND didn't come out fast, didn't really play like they really wanted it. They sat back, kind of played a little soft, didn't really hit guys as hard. Duluth just looked like they wanted it, and then they came out and hit our guys, and they played a really good defensive game. I was really impressed. I've been saying Duluth's a pretty one-dimensional team all year, and they kind of showed some grit that they can be a force here. I thought it would have been a little bit closer, especially with both the times Duluth had beaten UND. It was in overtime, but Duluth finally got one in regulation. So, yeah, I mean, from what you saw, Ian, what did you think of the game?
Um, well, sadly, I think first off, I think this game puts Spoonar out of the Richter race.
Oh, for sure,
Unfortunately.
dude. He did not play well. I forgot to mention
Yeah,
that.
5 goals on 22 shots is brutal. I don't know. I think correct me if I'm wrong here, but it kind of reminds me of the Minnesota game, and the score is identical, and the game honestly feels identical too. I think Duluth ran all 4 lines. That's something they haven't really been to do they haven't been able to really do that all year. And this was a night that it just seems like they were able to get all 4 lines humming, and we came out flat-footed, and we kind of deserved it.
Yeah,
But I mean, the thing there that's important to remember is like it's not the end of the world. Um, the mindset in this game at you know shouldn't be one that we adopt, but it's hey, we want everybody healthy for the game in 2 weeks that matters.
right.
So hopefully that was the mindset, kind of as shitty as that sounds. But in years past, I mean, well, 2016, right? We got stomped on by Duluth in the semifinal and went on to win the
I wouldn't
title.
say stomped on, but we lost. Yeah, I think it was
Yeah.
5-3.
So, I mean, just to keep that in mind, we still outshot them. We actually did pretty incredible in the dot. We were almost 66% in the dot. We were 38 for 60.
That's really good considering the score. That shows
Yeah.
you kind of how well Duluth battled and really wanted it.
So I think that was just kind of one of those games where, I mean, the team you're playing against is just humming, and that's why Duluth is so dangerous. That's why they're going to be really dangerous in the playoffs, is like if they can have a day in between their games and they can come out flying both nights, they're a team that can destroy you if you're not careful. And obviously we saw that. So, I mean,
Yeah,
shows
and
you
Guyan was
can
hot.
never take a night off in this conference. You can never take a night off in the season in general because teams you should beat are going to beat you if you take the night off.
Right. Yeah, and Guyan has played phenomenal, and it's one of those situations where you gotta worry about running into a hot goaltender. You gotta figure it out. So all UND can do right now is take this as a learning curve and uh use it for a lesson and try and figure out, or at least like what it's like when you could run into a hot goalie. It's no fun. You got to find a way to get some fire, and you got to battle back. Yeah, I would have liked to seen a little bit more of a fight just so that they know that they can kind of get themselves back in the game. When Dylan James scored that goal, I thought we were back, honestly, based off of previous games this season. So, I mean, yeah, UND didn't play well. I mean, they played well in some aspects, but you can't go, what'd you say, 66%?
Yeah, and the dot. And
You can't go 66% in the dot, outshoot your opponent, and lose that bad. That's just, Jan, I love Jan. He's a great player, great kid, but you got to do more than what he did. You got to help him out, especially as well. He's got to work on his rebound control. I thought his angles were kind of off, or have been off the last couple weeks. He's got to really lock in. If UND wants to have an opportunity to contend for a national championship, he's got to lock in. You know, he's got to be strong. He's got to be hot. Duluth's going to be sitting pretty tight here, especially if Guyan continues to play the way he has recently. He played phenomenally, made some great saves. Jan made a couple good saves too in that game, but I've been saying it for a couple months now, or a month or and a half or 2 months now that, I'm a little worried. December time we were on top of the world, thinking there we were UND was unstoppable because they looked so good. Jan was playing phenomenal. We were playing phenomenal. It was our best hockey we've been playing all season, but you got to do that now. And Jan's got to figure out how he can do that, and the team's got to figure out how they can get him there and how they can support him. Once you do that, we know UND, we know that we can beat anybody. We can contend with anybody in the country.
yeah,
We're on our game, but you got to be on your game. So how does UND do that? They're gonna have to figure it out. So
I'm not too worried about it. I mean, another thing, two of your best defensemen can't be out there for go -3, -4, So
right.
but for everybody who's kind of nervous, I mean, just look back to the Western Michigan weekend where, I mean, there were points in that game where we made Western Michigan look like a Colorado College or an Omaha. There were points in the game where we completely controlled the ice, and that's against the fourth best team in the country. Um, so I have no worries that when we're on, we can easily, go and get to a title game. It's just like we said, you can't take a night off. It's as simple as goaltending. You're being a little sloppy. All of a sudden, you're down 3-1 in a game you shouldn't be down 3-1 in because you're playing well and you're skating hard. But I'm not too worried. I think in the context of it, again, we've lost in regulation 3 times since October. Um, you just got to accept that you're going to have a fluke game every now and then, and thank God it was now before the actual tournament starts. So I'm not too worried.
Yeah. Well, let's move on to our next segment, which would be UND or NCAA bracket prediction. So only a handful of teams are left playing right now. Uh, let's see. You got
Ohio State for the Big Ten. Ohio
Ohio.
State could sneak in
Yep.
if they win that game, and that throws the bracket way off.
Yeah, a lot of stuff could be shaken up here.
I mean,
Hockey East is still in their
UConn
semis.
doesn't
They're
get
still
in.
doing what we used to do, where they'd have their semis and championship this weekend. So Hockey East is down to Merrimack, UMass, and then Boston College and UConn, uh, all of which are on the bubble. So that's going to be shaking things up here. And then Ohio State beat Michigan State last weekend to advance to the championship. They'll play at Michigan for the Big Ten title. St. Thomas is heading to Mankato to play Minnesota State. In the ECAC, Clarkson's playing at Dartmouth, and then Princeton's playing at Cornell. Dartmouth and Cornell are the only two ECAC teams in comfortably in the tournament right now. And
Quinnipiac, I
then
would be pretty comfortable.
I guess yeah. I mean I guess I meant still playing. Atlantic Hockey America, Sacred Hearts taking on Bentley. The winner of that will go and play the number one overall seed, Michigan, in the NCAA tournament. So the question right now is, how is it shaken up? Where's UND going to be right now? What seed are they going to be? Who are they going to play? Well, luckily we already know UND is locked in at the number two overall seed, and they are all but written in for Sioux Falls. There's a very slim chance that they're not there. I would say that they are. If I had to put money on it, I'd say the chances are 97% that UND is in Sioux Falls. Uh, who they'll be playing definitely is a different story. They could be playing the CCHA champion, which is either St. Thomas or Minnesota State. They could be playing UMass or UConn. It's pretty much down to those four teams right now. They could be thrown in against the ECAC school as well, depending on how those tournaments turn out. If I had to predict, though, if you wanted my opinion, my money, I would say that we're going to play St. Thomas, and the rest of the regional will be Duluth, and I want to say maybe Cornell or something like that. So that's my prediction right now. I think we'd beat St. Thomas. We've already done it twice. Obviously, it's hard to beat a team three times in a season, so I would just rather play than the Minnesota State personally. I don't really want to run into Alex Tracy come tournament time. We saw how Western Michigan kind of struggled and almost lost to him, honestly. How Tracy kind of kept Minnesota State in that first round matchup in Fargo last year, facing like 40 plus shots and bringing them to overtime within a goal beating the eventual national champion Western Michigan. What do you think the regional is going to look like then, Ian?
Well, Schloss put out something today, and it says, like we said, which seems very likely. Us and St. Thomas and Sioux Falls, and then Duluth and Quinnipiac, which I could see happening. It kind of just depends on how, like we said, the ECAC tournament shakes up. I think Cornell is seeded too high now to be in our region, because we got to remember who's coming to our region to play Duluth, if Duluth comes to our region, is like an 11 or a 12 seed. And right now that's kind of like Quinnipiac, even St. Thomas is kind of in that mix. It could go any different direction. I mean, Ohio State is probably the best 20 loss team ever in the history of the sport. They just like piss pumped Wisconsin, swept them, and then they just beat Michigan State, who is another team that could be in the mix for a national title. I mean, if they come out flying against Michigan and Ivan Kovic is not on his game, they could very well get into the tournament. We're playing an extremely hot Ohio State team first round. So, I mean, it really just depends. It could go any number of ways. Um, we'd have to see. I really don't like kind of the gauntlet they're giving us, but we should accept that in the committee's always going to screw UND over. So that is a tough region. I mean, Duluth, Quinnipiac, St. Thomas, and us, that is just a tough region. I mean, even St. Thomas is a team that since they played us, they have really picked it up and they've been humming.
Hold on one second. Okay.
And there's UMass. I mean, UMass is a team that I would not want to see in our region either. They were 42nd in pairwise at the start of the year, which is around what Omaha is right now, and now they're 13th.
42nd? Are you
They were
sure?
42nd at the start of the year, and now they're 13th.
But how is that possible? They were in the tournament last year. They're
They were just winning
42nd.
games. And their goalie is unbelievable. I
At the
think
beginning of the year or like at some point in the year?
like in January.
Oh, okay. You mean the calendar year. Okay.
Yeah,
I thought you meant the season. Okay.
sorry, calendar year.
No, you're good then.
Yeah,
That
and their
makes sense.
goalie is played out of his mind. I mean, in my opinion, he should win the Richter just for the fact that UMass has come up 30 spots in 2
That's
months and
crazy.
now in the playoffs, and I think he has like a 940 on the year. He's been unreal.
That's actually wild. Yeah, definitely a sleeper situation there. Honestly, from my stance, like if you take my regional, I think we should be able to beat St. Thomas if we play them. I think I'm not really worried about that matchup, but it really depends on how hot Guyan is going into that game. Oh, Cornell or Quinnipiac. Quinnipiac might be in a regional too. I saw that was my prediction before I saw Brad Schlossman's article, who had Quinnipiac instead of Cornell in our region. And honestly, I don't know if Duluth beats Quinnipiac if they're in it. I think they definitely could. It depends on how hot Guyan is and how well the team plays. But Quinnipiac's got Wittenbach. Quinnipiac just has experience
They're
in the
very
tournament,
similarly structured teams.
right?
Yeah.
And Rand Pecknell. I mean, they both the coaches have won a national championship. They both know what they're doing. So that'll be a really really fun game to watch. If it is Quinnipiac and Duluth. If Duluth wins that, and we lose, if we lose to Duluth again in the semifinal, I will go to Duluth and I will burn down the Amsoil Arena. I'm not even kidding. I do not. If we lose to Duluth again in the net in the regional final, I will lose my shit. Not again. After we lost to them in five overtimes in Fargo, after they didn't have to play the night before, we should have won that game. If we that happens again, I will drive to Duluth. I will grab, I don't know,
Well,
whatever fuel burns the longest, but I'll find it. Uh, take out whatever cams I need to, and I'll burn that shit.
here's the thing about
Obviously,
the
we're joking around. I'm not actually gonna go commit arson in Duluth,
allegedly,
so, but
allegedly.
I would be that upset. So I would much rather lose to so many teams than Duluth. I'd rather lose to St. Cloud's. No, I don't know if I'd rather lose. Oh, maybe. I'd rather lose to Quinnipiac than Duluth. I will say that.
See, the thing about Duluth, and again, we've seen this all year, is they're a first night team. And so I'm not as afraid of them coming into the regional final. They already played a day before and they're playing, or not the day before, but 2 days before, and they're playing playoff hockey. Um, and just by trend, we've done better on the second night this year against them. But this is just, I mean, this is a tournament, which is neat. And this is what the CHL has made really fun about this year is like literally every single team in here could do really well. You can take out like obviously the Atlantic champion, but besides that, literally any one of these teams could win 2 games in a row and make the Frozen Four. So it's going to be a neat year. I mean, there's a lot of teams that started off extremely hot that have cooled off. There's teams like Denver who had a really bad skid. Now all of a sudden they just haven't lost in like 10 games. Um, you have Duluth who looks really, really good now that they've split up the lines. You have obviously Michigan State and Penn State who can turn it on if they want to. Cornell is a team that's extremely dangerous. Providence is
Hmm.
good.
I need to go look at
UMass, obviously.
UMass,
Wisconsin's still
bro.
pretty good. Western Michigan, obviously, is really good. I mean, all these teams are good.
What's UMass been up to? UMass hasn't. Oh, they lost to UNH. How do you lose to UNH, bro?
That's Hockey East this year. The Hockey
They've
East had a record this year. I think it was
they've
Vermont.
lost to some bad teams, but at the same time, I mean, I'm sure some of those teams are pretty gritty, like the NCHC. So, I mean,
Yeah,
hey,
Hockey East just sucks this year.
watch out for them. Uh, we got some extras from Lincoln here. Ooh, let's go into the vent line real quick, just because we're still a little bit in the area realm of the vent line was full after the loss on Saturday. We're gonna try and keep it quick. Joshua Falter said UND, this is in quotes, UND just had a busy few weeks, end quote. isn't a valid excuse. Not great performance, in my opinion. I agree. I don't think it was a great performance. You just jump in whenever you want, Ian. Jack Fosberg said, at least we know that this was our worst performance all year and that UMD got lucky deflections the whole game. Yeah.
It did seem that way, like we just had
I don't
defense with
know if
a lot
I
of
wouldn't
pace, but
consider I wouldn't base Duluth's success on Saturday off of luck.
yeah.
Uh, I think they did deserve to win that game. They played way better than UND,
Sandy's also
but
just a phenomenal coach, and I'm sure he was telling him be
he
right there
is.
on
Do you
rebound.
know why he's a phenomenal coach?
Huh?
'Cause he got his education at the University of
Yeah,
North Dakota.
that's right.
Jack Fosberg also said NCAA champions look better than an NCHC tournament champion. I agree, bro. If it happens. I don't know if this is thrown in there. Did you throw it in there? We won the Penrose in 2016. We won the Penrose Cup. Lost to Duluth, and yeah, you
Yeah,
threw it in
I
there.
did. Yeah.
We lost to them in the semifinal, the same round, same game, and then went on to win. Uh, Matt Kraft said a lot of blocked shots when there was other lanes open. I'm assuming he means shots that we took. Zachary Davidson said, I think people forget UMD on their best night is a top five team. UMD looked bad and UMD buzzing.
Oh,
True.
I mean, Duluth is top five. I would say like top two. They're probably the best team in the country when they're really on.
I don't know about that, but
They're. I mean,
I
they're
would not say they're
pretty
top two in the country when they're on. When they're in their best game, they're a top five team. I would not say they're a top two team. If every
well.
team is
Us
on,
Duluth.
if you're looking at every team in the country that is at their best game, there are other teams that are better than Duluth. There's us. There's probably Michigan State. Denver is good. Western is good. Duluth's a pretty one-dimensional team for the most part, unless they're playing their best game.
Not after Saturday night. Apparently, running four lines, getting scoring all over.
Austin Allen Olson said ass. True. I'm gonna say. Game time six said genuinely what was Keaton Verhoff doing? He was directly responsible for four goals. Kinda. Kinda. T. Jade said, much rather have a game and a night like this now than in the tourney. I fully agree. I'm happy that they get it out of the way now. Hopefully it doesn't happen again. Jameson Johnson said, teams not winning anything this year. Another one and done. All right, buddy. Jeez.
Sound like
Damn,
the Facebook fans.
bro. It's not like I mean, we got a
The end of
chance.
the world when we lose a hockey game. We have to go 36-0 and win the title every year.
Gers Zuski Jacob said, got punched in the face before the NCAA tournament. Learn from it. True. Hopefully they do. John Novak said, glad we got embarrassed and now we are angry for the big dance. True. Get angry, fellas. Get angry. Caitlin Feldman said, heads and then an arrow in the peach, which I mean says heads are in her ass.
It's pretty good.
Cal 21 or 2011-85 said, why do we keep trying to make no look passes if we got no idea where our teammates are?
That is
That's a
something
pretty
that
good
was
one.
pretty popular in the Bradbury teams. Yeah, not wrong.
Mike Gaber said, don't do that again. True. Silky Mitts said, yikes. True. Uh, C Wavs 82 said, not happy. Three exclamation points. I was not either. I was pissed. And then Anaheim Ducks talk said, kill me. That'll be my
Who's
response
a Ducks
if we
pick on our
lose to
team?
Duluth in the regional final. What?
Who's a Ducks pick on our team?
I don't remember. Juddy Caulfield.
Yeah, I guess so. Well, no, he's on
Well, he wasn't a pick, but he doesn't play there anymore. But he played for them for a little for playing the organization.
Hey, actually, before we go anywhere, for all you UND fans, quick sidetrack. Guess whose birthday it is?
For those of you who don't have audio, it's Sasha Boisvert's birthday today.
Let's talk about a
Uh,
little bit about that because there's a lot of buzz around BU right now
all right,
surrounding the situation.
you go
Um,
ahead.
for those who don't know, Sacha Boisvert, obviously Rookie of the Year, had 32 points for us.
Last year,
Got in a fight at a frat,
just in case.
basically got told to F off and transfer. Went to BU, had 3 goals and 14 assists for 17 points this year, and was actually scratched in the Hockey East quarterfinal game due to being late to team workouts.
And having a
And
poor excuse is what I heard.
yep, and so obviously BU season is over. 20 draft picks didn't even make playoffs.
That's crazy.
Probably the
That's
most
crazy.
embarrassing season in college hockey history. I
That is
think
crazy.
they were one game above 500, I think. So just
That is
wild.
insane.
And it shows you that the draft picks just going off a
Super
draft pick
teams
work. Yeah.
don't do shit, don't always do shit. They're still waiting for, I think, our first team with 10 plus draft picks to win a national championship. I don't think it's happened still. Well, maybe it's 13, something closer to that number.
Yeah. So Sacha obviously left and signed with Chicago. I don't think he's going to make his NHL debut yet. I know he's not playing tonight. Um, there's a lot of buzz around kind of some of the BU insiders saying that he was a locker room cancer. The late team meetings was not a one-time issue, and they were basically ready to part with him almost all season. And some North Dakota people have come out and said similar things that we could not wait to basically kick him off campus. So that shows you anything about the new coaching and the fact that we're going to be all right. We're going to be all right because you see players like that we've recruited that don't fit our system, and you see when they leave for elsewhere, they end up not doing so good.
It's gonna trust the process sometimes, even when it looks grim. You gotta let what's gonna happen happen. Thank you for that piece, Ian. That was fantastic.
I'm a Sacha Boisvert hater. Didn't like the guy.
So
I actually outproduced him this year, I think.
that's crazy. Well, he also played more games than Sasha, so I don't know if that's
I thought he
really
was also a fourth liner,
true.
extra forward.
So moving into yeah, they were also him and Omac were the top two worst producing transfers, like the differential from last year, right?
That's right. I think the only person who is en route to beat them is Godowski's kid for Penn State, but I mean,
Mac.
he's going from Army to Penn State. It makes sense. You don't go from blue blood to blue blood and then have a 15, 16 point reduction in production. So
So Lincoln wrote down some extras here. I assume he wanted us to ask these questions. I think we kind of answered a couple of them, but we'll go over them again anyway. He said, "Who would you rather play in the first round, ECAC, CCHA, or a Hockey East team?" Depends on the team.
he's
I mean,
soft as
I'd
shit.
probably play the CCHA. They're for the most part a familiar foe. You know, they're close by, most of them. I don't get to watch much Hockey East, if I'm being honest, but probably the CCHA. What about you, Ian?
I would be ecstatic to play somebody like UConn or somebody from the Hockey East because of how bad they were this year. I think the CCHA actually has had some depth. You had
Yeah, I
Augustana who
mean, for
in
sure.
the race until they got beat in the playoffs for the conference, and St. Thomas and Mankato were both pretty good squads. That Mankato, especially if Tracy stands on his head, that's a tough game to win.
Right. I
Even
guess
UConn,
normally, I guess from a normal standpoint, I wouldn't pick Hockey East, but I guess maybe in this standpoint, I would maybe. But we didn't play anybody from Hockey East this year, so
yeah,
it's
they're
weird. We
really
usually play
this year, man.
somebody.
They're really
Uh, so you're gonna go with Hockey East? Anything else to add there?
this year. I typically probably like you said the CCHA just because we're familiar with them. That or like I don't know. ECAC is tough
ECAC
'cause
is
they
sneaky,
actually play
bro.
pretty gritty. They play pretty gritty,
They're pretty
and that's not
sneaky.
something you expect. East Coast.
Exactly. How can UND figure out their goals against average situation? Does it land on all? I don't think it all lands all on Schoonar. Obviously, Schoonar he has control over a lot of the game, but he can only do so much. It really depends on how the team plays in front of him. Spooner, even when he didn't play that well, he still won games when the team was playing well in front of him. So if we can, you and he can play well in front of him, and he can just do the literally like the bare minimum, I think we'll be okay. Which is just focus on your angles, corral rebounds, be quick. You know, try and figure out what you were doing right earlier in the season and just try and go back to it. Uh, yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's the pressure of being the guy now that's gotten to him or what it is, but uh, help him figure it out. Like, be a supportive teammate to Jan, and all you can do is hope that Jan plays a good game, and all you can do if you're a player is play the best hockey you can in front of him. Get pucks. Like, UND did not get guys out of the front of the net, in front of the net against Duluth. You know, they were not kicking guys out. They were not tough in front of Jan. They kicked out too many rebounds. Obviously, Jan contributes to that a little bit, or contributes to it, but at the same time, the players have to do their job too in front of them. The goalie can only do so much.
Yeah, it's very hard for a goalie to have a good game when the defense is not good in front of them, unless
Right.
you're Connor Hellebuck and you have literal Jesus Christ, on your
Yeah, you
stick.
literally have God. You literally have God watching the game. And
Yeah.
all right, so who on the team needs to get hot for the tournament? I think to be successful, Jan needs to be hot. If Jan's hot, UND can afford to make some mistakes and they will still win. If Jan gets hot, the sky's the limit, I think. But if I had to pick a couple other guys too, obviously you want like a guy like Rickwood or Reshny to get hot, guys in the dot. You need them to be hot. You need to get possession as much as possible, and then defensemen too, like a Liver or a Weeb, if they can stay hot or get hot too, that'd be perfect. They can even put Zamolik in there to get some shots blocked.
I think the upperclassmen, um,
You need to
we
lead,
year in and year out, the teams who win this game and win the championship are the teams whose upperclassmen lead them there. And you got to accept that the freshmen and the sophomores are going to make mistakes. That's just going to happen even in tournament time. It's the juniors and the seniors who just need to be very pure and sharp and doing all the right things to win a championship. I mean, we saw it with Quinnipiac. Definitely shouldn't have won that game, but their seniors led and they fought through and they won it. Western Michigan last year, who were kind of all their top guys, they're all juniors and seniors. You just see time in and time out. The upperclassmen are what lead you to a title.
right? Great point. Uh, who is the most dangerous team in the country? We talked about it before. UMass is obviously just extremely hot, or I would say extremely warm right now, or hot. I wouldn't say extremely hot, but pretty hot. They're a dangerous team. The team that's playing well, well-oiled machine is going to come down the tracks and they're going to stomp you. You got to be careful for them. Denver's up there for
Anybody in
sure.
NCHC, I mean,
Denver
Carlson
hasn't
does.
Denver hasn't lost since uh January 23rd against St. Cloud State. They haven't lost since then. They tied, but they didn't lose. So Denver's a hot team. They got the revenge on Western from last year, kicking them out of the NCHC tournament. I think Denver's a dangerous team. Duluth is dangerous depending on, if they play that game again. I mean, when they're playing like that, they can beat a lot of good teams. Michigan, it's hard for me to tell how good Michigan really is. I think that they're a good, talented team, but it's just hard for me to really gauge how good they really are until tournament time when I get to watch them. I would probably say UMass is very hot. Quinnipiac is up there. Well, they're not hot. They just lost to Cornell. They
Just
get
got
swept
swept
by
by
Cornell?
Clarkson.
Or that's what I
Clarkson,
meant. Clarkson, yeah. Never mind.
which
They are not hot.
Clarkson beat us. I mean, Clarkson is they're a sneaky
Yeah.
team like they're not.
Yeah, I mean, I would say those teams. Ian, who would you say?
Cornell's one you always got to watch out for. They have busted everybody's balls in the first round or two of the
Yeah,
tournament.
Cornell. That's a
Um,
dangerous one.
Last year they beat number two overall Michigan State. I think the year or two before that they beat number three or number four overall Denver in the first round. I mean, they're a team that they're hot right now. They play very gritty. I mean, as we saw last year when we went out and played them, kind of steamrolled us. So they're another sneaky ECAC team that can play a really good
They
brand of
are.
hockey
They're
when they're
good.
on.
Well, that was the last question. But news, Cole Resch. Oh, I guess we have to go over all the awards. Well, we'll start off with Freshman of the Year. Cole Reschny became the fifth Fighting Hawk to win the honor since UND joined the NCHC in 2013-14. And he became the third over the last four seasons, next to Jackson Blake and Sasha Boisvert. The other two Fighting Hawks to win the award are Brock Besser in 15-16 and Shane Pinto in 1920. The other awards for UND this year, let me go and get them up here in 1 second.
Jan Spoonar won goaltender of the year.
Somehow, yeah, I
And
don't know
then just, I
how,
guess
really.
completely. Yeah.
I mean, Schooner played really well. He set records, but I don't know how you don't put like, I don't even know. I don't know. Well, let's get to this first. The all NCHC all rookie team was Cole Reschny, forward, Will Zellers, forward, Keaton Verhoff, defenseman, and then Jan Spoonar, goaltender. That's what puzzles me. How does he win both? Rookie goaltender of the year and goaltender of the year. That kind of shocks me a little bit. Uh, you like the rookie team, you could have Ole on there close to that. If Zakreski plays the whole year, he might be on that team. I assume the
Yeah,
NCHC
four or
didn't want
five
to
out of
have it all
six.
be UND guys, but what?
Yeah, I mean, we had four out of the six all rookie team. That's pretty ridiculous.
It's very good. And then all NCHC first team, Jake Livanovich, defenseman, and Jan Spunar, goaltender. All NCHC second team, Abram Weeb, defenseman, and Ben Strinden, forward. And then all NCHC third team is Ellis Rickwood. So, yep. And then Jan won goaltender of the year. And then Dylan James did not win defensive forward of the year. I believe he was up for. So that's the
And
awards for this year. What'd you say?
yeah, Dane Jackson is up there for the coach of the
Yep.
year for
Spencer
conference, which
Penrose, coach of the year,
I
whatever. For
that's
Brooks.
weird because Carl got nominated, which I was like, why is he? But I mean, if they win the conference, I could very well see him winning that award for whatever reason. But it should be Dane Jackson.
It should be.
Have to award the,
And
you overhauled half your team and your entire coaching staff, and you're number two in the nation first year. I mean, that's
you
hard to
give it
do.
to Dane, but it's really for the whole squad. I mean, they put together a phenomenal team in not a very in a very short amount of time. If Dane wins that award, it's not just for Dane, it's for Smaby, it's for Simpson and Brent Chiswick especially. He's done a phenomenal job. I mean, you got to give credit to JP Lamb too. He's not officially on the coaching staff, but he's a part of the operations and he's coaching. So, yeah, I mean, great coaching staff. Done a phenomenal job this year. Hopefully they can get some glory in it in the NCAA tournament. I really just want to see him go to the Frozen Four. It's been 10 years. You wouldn't think that it has been 10 years since we've seen him in a Frozen Four. I remember it had been like 4 years since we had seen him in an NCAA tournament. He had 2017, missed 2018, missed 2019, COVID 2020. And then 2021, that was 4 years since we had seen them in a tournament. I
And
mean,
it's been 5 years now since our last playoff win in the NCAA tournament. That's another thing to focus on.
yeah, you had the win over AIC, the loss to Duluth, and then lost to Notre Dame the year after that. Missed the tournament the year after that. Lost to Michigan. Lost to nobody because we sucked last year. So, but UND back in the number one seed. First time since 2021 that they're a one seed. That year they were the number one overall seed. This year they're the number two overall seed. So it'll be interesting. Both the other times they lost since then they were the two seed, I believe, losing to Notre Dame and losing to Michigan. So
We lost, Michigan was a 3 seed, I think,
yep,
three
they're
year
a three
at
seed.
Notre Dame would have been the 2 seed, and we were the 3 seed. That sounds right.
Are you sure? I said UND was the two seed. I think Notre Dame was the three seed. They were they were wearing their blues and we were home, so we would have been the two
Okay.
seed.
I can't remember. I remember
Uh
the game. That was like we had like 20 minutes to review the game clock. I remember that.
yeah, it
We
took a long
lost on
time.
it, but the game clock went out.
I was so worried that we were gonna lose like we did in 2014 again, bro. I was like, no way.
And
Yeah,
then we
that
lost 3 minutes later.
dude, it's weird because the last uh four tournaments UND's played the first game or the regional without their number one defenseman. They played without Garrett Pike in 2024, without Jake Sanderson in 2022. I don't know if we were missing our number one defenseman in 2021, but in 2017 we were without Tucker Pullman. So, and Bennett Zamolik arguably are one of our number probably our arguably our number one defenseman, and he's struggling with an injury. Oh, we forgot to mention Ollie Josephson got hurt in the game on Saturday, the lower body injury. It looked like his knee was pinned into the wall pretty hard. Could be season ending, could not be. We'll see what happens. He's got 2 weeks to see if he can play. If not, if UND makes the regional, then it's possible for him to come back for the Frozen Four. All the best of luck in the health department and recovery for Ollie Josephson.
Yeah, man, he is a grinder. He's one of, to me, he embodies what the coaching staff wants this team to be. I mean, that guy is the
Yeah,
hardest skater on his line every shift. He's constantly circling. He's going after the guy in the puck. I mean, he's getting his stick in areas, and
yeah, he's a great player.
yeah,
But that's one area that you helps UND is that they just have really good depth. So they can plug and play if they need to, if he's not ready to go. So hopefully he is. But if he's not, Dane Jackson will have to make some adjustments. But is that it for you, Ian? Anything else to add before we wrap it up here?
gotta lock in. Hopefully, maybe really laid into him. Hopefully, Dane did
Ooh,
too.
we
And then
didn't even do weekend recaps, did we?
there's nothing to recap.
I went to the game and wanted to die.
Yeah, exactly.
Went to the pub crawl, I guess, on Saturday for St. Patty's Day.
And
Other
after
than
or
that,
before, and then lost, and then went after.
before I was too depressed to go out after. I sat and
Yeah.
loathed in my room. Uh,
Well, yeah, I mean, it's time to go on a little bit of a run. It has been, like we said, it's been 5 years since we've won a tournament game, which is just completely crazy for our university and its prominence in the landscape. So, I mean, now it's the time to put together a couple of games.
true. Is that it from you? For you?
That's all I got.
All right. Well, thank you for listening. We appreciate it if you are a returner. Thank you for your loyalty. And if you are new here, we appreciate you listening. Uh, happy to have my voice back. Thanks for your prayers if you prayed. If you sneezed in this video, bless you. Uh, we will see you next week. We'll have probably we'll recap the weekend, the selection show, and then we'll do some bracket predictions for the NCAA tournament. We'll see you next week.